Ooh, yes.
Welcome to Blisstout Network. It's your girl,
Oh,
Leanne Angie Faith in the background. We got a little bit of her favorite musician on there, one of hers, because she
love
is
him.
music. So I guess Harry
And I
Styles is
love
definitely
this
going to have to
song.
meet you very soon. I'm just setting out the intention while we're going to do this interview for Blisstout Mini Fest April 25th, 2021. Welcome to the show, Angie. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today. It's such a rainy day outside, not even snowing. It's just like super gloomy and cold. And so it's just nice to be indoors and warm and to be in the space here with you. And I'm just so excited to be here and to talk about music and the journey. And nowhere else I'd rather be here than right now.
And so much gratitude to you in reflecting. Part of my dream of putting on platforms is meeting other musicians that really do the work with bringing sound into creativity and transforming lives through what they do. So heads off to you with my first question. When did music start to have such an effect in your life? And share with us your why with us. Why music? Why do you do this art, and share it?
Well, why music? Let's start there. So for me, music started off as a way for me to like express myself and to find a way to communicate words that I couldn't say as a young person. I started writing music when I was probably between the ages of 7 and 10. I think it was more like poetry when I was 7, and then I started to hear melodies in my head when I was 10 years old. So I would collaborate with my dad and I would sing him the melody that I had like in mind, and we kind of like started our co-writing adventures together. And then like as I got older and I started to like play my music for people, and people started to share with me what they were feeling, and they would talk to me about, oh my gosh, that song touched me so deeply, like I'm going through this breakup, or oh, I can so relate to like that triumph and really like getting through those hard times, and it's so nice to hear that someone else understands that. I just i can't even put into words how much gratitude and joy that like brought me. Like it was just the best feeling in the world to know that like, oh, the music's out there and people are like relating to it. It's making a difference. So it started off as a personal journey and really starting to discover my voice and my self-expression as a young person. And now it's about really connecting with people and being able to give people something that they can really connect to.
And so you did mention in my question response with you about the Tiki room. What is that? And tell me a little bit about that journey.
Oh gosh, yeah. So the Tiki room was the music room that my dad created when I was a kid. It was his jam space. And when I was 4 years old, I would stand on this like box and sing into like the microphone and he would play guitar. I don't even really remember like what songs we covered. I just remember standing on a box and singing. And there's pictures too, so that helps. And then yeah, like after that started, when I was 6 years old, I auditioned for a role in not Sound of Music, The Wizard of Oz. Sound of Music was later on in life. The Wizard of Oz was the first musical I ever got into, got casted. And then from that point on, that began my journey in musical theater, where I got training as a vocalist, as a dancer, as an actor. And I did The Wizard of Oz, I did Oliver, and I did The Sound of Music. And they were the three major December productions at Gateway Theater here in Richmond, British Columbia. So that's where a lot of my training happened. And oh my gosh, like I was involved in theater 365 days, Leanne. I was there for the spring course. Then I did the summer course, and then I would either do the fall course or I would be casted in the major production. So I was just like in theater all year round for at least 4 or 5 years. And then I was also like doing commercials and things like that during that time in my life, and writing all the time. I've written like hundreds of songs.
So nourishing, and it's so good that you could transform the journey with your life through writing, and then learning that music was your transformation tool.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was a young person, like because I was so in and out of school, like I was going to auditions and I was so committed to musical theater. So like I would sometimes like show up late to school. Like I just felt like I wasn't that connected with my peers and I got bullied a lot and just never felt like I could fit in. And yeah, those were some harder times for sure. So I think that music was really there for me as a way to express myself and really deal with that really deep sadness that I was dealing with at such a young age. Like I would say, like a level of depression for sure. And then, in high school, it it kind of just dawned on me that I didn't want to fit in anymore. Like it's just like one day I just really, really got, okay, I don't even want to fit in. In fact, I want to stand out. So I started like coloring my hair, wearing whatever the heck I wanted to wear, writing about whatever I wanted to write about. I just discovered like so much freedom in my youth and it was amazing. And it was like the age of rock and roll to the
Mm.
T. And yeah, I put together a band and we did lots of local shows. We played at the community centers and had so much fun doing that. And then I just remembered this today actually. Like, so it was like musical theater, put my own band together, and then I sang backup like harmonies with this really well-known country singer, Shanna Lynn, and we performed at the 2010 Olympics together.
Mm.
And that came up in my timeline on Facebook recently. I saw that memory. So I was like, hey, that's right. I did that in the journey as well.
And then you're going to have
Yeah.
your backup coming soon, I guess, because you know what? That's how it works. We all have to grow and learn. But I really appreciate what you do and who you are, and I think you're amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Around the age of 17, I want to say, or 16, I started going to the Pump House Jam, which was a bar called the Pump House Pub that my dad ran a jam at every Sunday.
Mm.
And that again was a place of like training grounds, giving me an opportunity to play with some really skilled professional musicians who, when I became like ready to book myself like ongoingly and work full time as a musician, I already had such an amazing roster of guys and girls that were like ready to hit the road and go all over the lower mainland. We toured all over
Mm.
and I've played gigs in Mexico and I've played gigs in Toronto. I did a wedding out in Toronto actually like years ago and to this day like I still see those people show up on my live stream and they're like, oh, you sang at our wedding, it's so great to see you. It's amazing, like the music is the absolute I guess it's like the avenue for connection, like it keeps me connected to people on like a soul level though, and it
Mm.
keeps me grounded. So again, it's like it's something I started out for me and like doing it for myself and it's evolved into being about others for sure.
Well, for myself, I mean, meeting you at Brad's house. God bless Brad when you watch this, because just going out to his house,
Ah,
um, and to celebrate with him in his new place, and you're sitting right in front of me across the table, and I'm coming from work, and I got all this stuff, and I got somebody beside me. I got all these things going on, but we couldn't ignore each other, and that I think that was our destiny, was to really find each other and talk the same language and to be advocates for wellness in the community and to network with people. So I really appreciate my own personal desires with what I need to be doing with my own music by just meeting somebody like you. And I think that's what, that's really what all of us need to do. We need to fill in gaps, and where I can be strong for you and where you can be strong for me. And that's what I see you do really well with your music, and you come alive in the kindred spirit that you have. Um, there is definitely magic in the air when you perform.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's why
That's
I want more
amazing.
people to
I
see
love
you.
hearing
I
that.
want Blisstout Network to see you, and I want to take time into my own personal growth and what I need to do in my own music, but and inspire myself. Weekly inspire myself, seeing all the things. Everybody that's watching this, scroll down into Blisstout Network and check out how much Angie went live, and every performance is breathtaking. It moved me every day that I just was like stumbling through what to do with COVID and how do I start my platforms again and how do I do events again, and I just followed my inner gut, and having you guys come in there and play with me prior to the new year and now interviewing you, it's such a blessing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so amazing. I think that when you came into my life, it was like a time where things were already shifting. And I totally felt like the first time you and I ever had a conversation like that, I knew you in a different lifetime. Like my soul really connected with you. And yeah, I love that you have that memory as well. And the other thing too, like when I'm on stage performing and when I'm even like, with people, sometimes I really, really do lose myself in that moment. Like I completely forget there are people watching. And I think people are starting to notice those moments. So yeah, you totally lost yourself in that music, hey? Like it's so freeing. It's almost like you're meditating, Like when you reach that place of like true zen, like it's really there's like nothing but peace. That's what I experience sometimes when I perform. Not all the
Oh,
time, but
oh, we feel
a
it.
lot.
Believe me, you give us bliss. You definitely have the
That's
talent to
awesome.
bring bliss to people, and that's why I'm blissed out with you. So, our next
Awesome.
question, you beautiful, fantastic musician. Who's your favorite singer, and who has the biggest effect on your encouragement in the world of music, musically?
So when I was like younger, definitely started off with like Mariah Carey, like 90s Mariah Carey and like Whitney Houston and Beyonce. And I was like a big fan of Destiny's Child. And then as I got older, oh sorry, I also don't want to miss out on the classic rock vibes. Like my dad raised me on Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones, so they definitely influenced my music. But then yeah, as I got older, like one of my current musicians who I just love so much is Harry Styles. I have so much appreciation for him where he's at in his career. Like he was plucked out of obscurity, put into this like boy band, and they went out and did their thing. And, now he's really rocking it with his solo career. And he just puts out this really great, very like, there's like so many different layers and like flavors to his music. Like it's so intricate and you can like hear it. You can hear it in his beats and his sound is it's so unique. It's just like you hear it and you're like, that's Harry. It's not like he sounds like every other musician. So I love that. He can really sing. Holy,
Mm.
I would just love, even if like it was just jamming, like I would just love to like play music with him just to jam. It'd be such an
Well,
honor
may
to
that
collaborate on
may that bibbity
something.
bobbity boo happen.
That would be amazing. Yeah. And
I think
another
that'd be really
artist who
great. Set that
I love.
intention, because girlfriend, I'm sure he would love to meet you. I'm sure he would
Yeah.
he would love to see something beautiful. And I think as musicians, because myself on my own personal journey, some things I've had to put aside, then I had to go back to it, then I put aside, is that we all are artists, right? We're multi-talented artists. And I think to be a musician, you dibble dabble in everything, because the expression of sound, to create that, peak and valley feeling that you want other people to feel comes from life, and then that
Absolutely.
wave, and then life gives you these experiences. I've had experiences by like putting on fashion runways that made music even totally different, because when people would adore their outfits, or when I used to model on runways, the same thing, like you would feel it totally different, because that music became everything about that moment. And I think that's how music can be so multifaceted. It's not just in the healing, but it's also in the expression, like ongoing expression with creativity. So yeah. And next to our
Absolutely.
next question here, beautiful. Do you have any music on Spotify? What's for sale? And are there any plans to release more music in 2021?
Yeah, so right now on Spotify, there's the 4-song EP that I am super proud of. It was my first project, which was completely self-made. So I wrote 100% of the music and sang all of the music, and I wrote all of the guitar parts and played all the guitar parts. And yeah, it's on Spotify, it's on all streaming platforms. It's called Awaken. It has 4 songs, like I said. And in terms of what's to come, I'm going to be releasing new music this year. I'm so excited. I wrote a few songs during quarantine, and 2020 was a year of like really being present, slowing things down, taking time to express myself emotionally, feel all my emotions, be with what was going on in the world, be with people, and really get present to like the connection, like through music. And the song I'm releasing this year is called Breathe. and it's going to be the first single off of my first full-length album that's coming out. I'm so ready. And I have probably 2 or 3 albums in the making that are going to be coming out like one after another. And I'm really excited. I know a lot of people in my life and my fans are so pumped because some of the songs are like 10 years old and some of the songs are like 2 months old. So there's like quite the variety of like style of music, and there's the variety of timeline. And at first I was like, can I put out these songs? Like I wrote them like 6 years ago. I wrote them like 10 years ago. Like, do people even still want to hear that? And I have been playing them like here and there on my lives, and people are still resonating with that music. And so for me, again, it's about them now. I'm like, okay, if you want it, you got it. It's coming out.
So good. Yeah. And I think because music is something that is always new, even with you singing something that could feel like it's old, is just always new when you show up with it. So I'm sure everything that you can bring, like every time you go live, I saw it, you show up and you put a swing onto something, and it's just that moment with you lost to music. So I don't think anybody can get bored of you, Angie, honestly. I don't think they get bored of you.
That's great to hear. Definitely never a dull moment in my personal life, for
Well, no, and
sure.
even how things connected. I mean, even that time when you went live in Gastown and that guy proposed to
Oh
the other guy,
yeah.
there's so many wonderful moments that you were contributing to just with sound.
I forgot about that. That was the okay. That was seriously one of the best moments of 2020. I want to share about that. So my boyfriend and I basically said we're going out, and I didn't have anything booked. It was completely impromptu. And then I was with Brad and Bruna suggested we go to Gastown. So I put my gear in the middle of Gastown, and it was like 100 people there at one point, and everyone was socially distant, responsible with the protocols. There were like security guards there, cops were there, like everything was monitored and everything was cool. And they gave me the space for like I think like 2 hours, and it was so beautiful. There was like,
You have links
videos that
on
I
your
saw.
your Facebook page, right? You have those videos
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah. So
yeah,
make sure
yeah,
everybody add Angie Faith. Go check
totally.
her out and go see that magical moment of that proposal, because that's how music ties love.
Yeah,
And in the moments, the unbelievable partaking of destiny was right before you. And I mean, even that content could always be utilized again for a part in your video somewhere. Just a beautiful story about Angie and her journey with music, because I think it's fabulous.
100%. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, do you write music, Angie? Do you plan to share and teach us all about your wonderful understandings about music?
Yeah, definitely. I've been a writer and someone who's, been a musician, I guess, like since I was a kid, like ever since I was even like 5 years old, I had rhythm, I have musicality. And, in terms of what I do with music, what makes it so different is like, or I don't know if I want to use the word different, I'll say unique, is that because I have musicality, I have the ability to take music and make it my own. So everything that you hear is completely like generated in the moment. Said another way, like it's completely improvised. And some stuff I'll love it. Like I'll love the rendition I create, and then I'll do it again and again, and each time like I'll put something different on it. But yeah, like that's one thing that I do. Like I write my own music and I take covers and I make them my own. And what was your other question?
Oh, just about teaching, because I feel
Oh,
there's
teaching. Yeah.
so much in what you do with writing. I personally, since I've met you, I've been like, I seen when you start talking about that one time, and I was just like, there's so much power in there for you. And I mean, there's a lot that we all can fill gaps in how we grow and learn and how we take our next steps. But I really think that there's something there that you have to share.
Yeah. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you like being an advocate for having me see the possibility of creating like a workshop or something along those lines of like teaching. I have always not related to myself as like a teacher of music because I'm self-taught. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, like the ability that I have to teach is sort of limited. And lots of people have come to me and asked for singing lessons or guitar lessons. And yeah, I've given stuff, you know, to friends and family. But in terms of like putting together like an actual workshop to share about artist development and to talk about self-expression and to speak to, the different ways of songwriting. I did do a couple of events where I showed up as a guest speaker pre-COVID at a couple of music events, and those were called music talks in Vancouver. So something similar in that realm, probably in the new year when things get going again, and even if not in person, like we're doing this interview on Zoom, perhaps I could create something this year on Zoom. Right now, my focus though is 100% like on the album. Like I'm planning with my team and doing all the things that we can to really get the music out there. Cause, everyone that's watching this, my goal is to always have as many people as possible have access to the music. My dream and my goal in life is to be a globally known artist. And so what that looks like is having me out there on all streaming platforms, like out there across the world, because I really believe that the music I create can make a difference in this world. And so I want it to reach as
100%.
many people as possible.
100%. 100%. You are born for this and you're so good at it. Who would you dream to sing with and collaborate? And I think that was what I played in the beginning.
Yeah, Harry. The other one too that really comes to mind is John Mayer. I love him so much. He is fabulous. Another artist too that I would love to collaborate with would be Adele. I feel like me and her would very much get along. We're very similar in personality, quite quirky and a little sassy. And another artist too that I've been thinking about, ongoingly for years now, as of course, is Billie Eilish, who's completely iconic and has such an incredible partnership with her brother. It would be unbelievable and like in my wildest dreams to collaborate with her, and even just to open for her and tour with her would be amazing.
I love it. So with all that being said, we've got a lot of information together. We know that there's a ton of videos on Blisstout Network, everybody that's watching the video too. So make sure if you want to see some of those lives, even from the last Blisstout Mini Fest when Angie went live, there's so much heart-touching moments to discover this beautiful artist and musician in front of us today. And while she gets on with her business, just make sure you guys connect to the network. You want to email us at blistout.network@gmail.com. And as me and Angie grow, we're going to have more options together. But right now, it's all about making sure that more of you guys see her. And my contribution to music is the beautiful people that I meet that are my personal friends that I believe in. And I want to make a little bit more time to grow and learn with, having fun with her vocally. I'm sure one day we'll have more time for that. But, during this time of COVID and during all these lockdowns, I'm so grateful that I can be doing this work to contribute to a platform that we can have in Vancouver where Angie's going to be on my stage. So, yes. And that's what I look forward to, is building that platform. More musicians. My oldest son who's doing his bachelor's, my younger son, they're both doing their bachelor's in music right now. Actually, his favorites are John Mayer and Harry Styles too. So we're all in this together.
Yes.
Like mine did. And it's music that keeps us together. And Angie, I want to wish you a lot of blessings on every part of your body, mind, spirit journey. We believe in you. We love you. And hats off to you for living your dream.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And thank you so much for having me here today, Leanne. Appreciate it.
Yes. And on that last note, let's some Harry Styles drive us home.
Ooh, yeah.
And you don't have to say nothing because, girlfriend, you are it. I love you.
Oh, I adore you. Thank you.
Okay, get blissed out. See you soon.